Alright guys, so this is my Goemon's Great Adventure commentary. Let me just lower my mic a bit so it doesn't sound too blurry. I time it from the OK. The OK happens at around 8 seconds, and I will time it till the final boss hit. So this run is around 1:50:18 seconds. 1 hour, 50 minutes and 18 seconds. So I start off on Ego, and I had just woken up. Well, not just woken up, but I got up, took a shower, and I decided, hey, let me stream a run. I was feeling pretty good about myself, so I didn't reset the whole stream. It was just get on, do the running, I got it. So basically, Lost in Road is simple. You move through. Let me turn off my AC so that doesn't get in the mic. And I missed the level 3 golden chain pipe, which if you grab a Rio and a lucky cat at the same time, for a reason the game reads as 2 lucky cats. So this is a neutral control stick reset, which causes like horses, vehicles, and you to move faster in towns. Unfortunately, my horse broke early. It can make it all the way to the end, but it took another hit from like the Rolling Stone guys. I get the hops over these stone guys because this hop is actually pretty tricky, but I've been getting it more consistently, so that's always a good sign. Golden pipe at the end. My Eagle was really good in this run, outside of just like small mishaps like not getting the level 3 weapon. It was not actually bad. It was probably one of my betterly decent Eagles. I messed up a bit in the castle. So you hear it once again. I use the neutral control stick reset, which we found out works in the US version. So it speeds up all my town segments and saves like 40 seconds-ish, I think. At least in Ego. Practice for this game is relatively low, as in I basically just get on and play it when I want. I plan to improve this soon. I'm not going to wait as long as I did the last time. I'm just going to do another run, maybe even like tomorrow, and see if I can improve this. Because I literally never get stuck on Ego or Turtle anymore, which used to be a big problem, not being able to make it past those levels. Because at that point I currently always felt the incentive to reset. It's very hard to commit myself to no reset runs, and I don't know why. I think it just has to do with knowing that when you think you have the skill to do something, you don't want to sit there and practice because you feel you already have it, you know? So I guess that's why it's so hard for me to do no reset runs, is I feel I'm perfectly capable of smashing my PB. So that's basically what I did in this run. I just woke up, got on the game. I played through it yesterday, and that was the only time I touched, and I got on and played today. Whenever I play this game, I'm going to try to stream it more often because I don't know, I feel like streaming adds an extra little edge to perform better. Even though I had no viewers, I did not get a single viewer during this whole stream. So it's kind of funny. The one time I do PV, no one's watching. So if I get the run and nobody's watching, does it still matter? Well, I guess that's why I'm making this video, so you guys can watch it, so it actually does matter. But yeah, no one saw me do this. This was just completely done, no viewers. I ended up getting the entry pass. I have to wait through this, and then I use the super speed out of the town. Drinking some Arizona with some Pop-Tarts. Next we move on to this level. I don't get the initial chain pipe skip, but I get it like second try. It's really easy to get second try once you have a hang for it. First try is still always going to be a little tricky. I hate these platformings because there's not much you could do to speed it up without like killing yourself. Just putting yourself at an unnecessary risk. The problem with this game is like the early part. Once you have it down, it's all like tricks, you know. It's just like you gotta do this neutral joystick reset, and then it's just pretty much just not getting hit. And then the later part comes to like tricky platforming, literal force damage, and just like stuff that is just complete bullshit in my opinion. I hate it. I hate hell. I hate the underworld. Floating, all the sky levels are alright if you could memorize them. And then I hate the final castle. And I've actually been calling the final castle Dream Castle the whole time. It's not Dream Castle, it's called Floating Castle. At least I think it is. Maybe it's called Dream Castle. I'm pretty sure I've been calling it Dream Castle. I'm almost positive it's called Floating Castle now. But I could be wrong. I might have to go look this up. Because I know for the longest. I'm gonna look it up right now. Yeah, okay, it is called Dream Castle. But I had been calling it Dream Castle. I knew it was Dream Castle. I always thought it was Dream Castle, but the actual like level is called Floating Castle. So at one point I got really confused, and I thought the only reason I was calling it Dream Castle was because I was thinking Pikmin 2's Dream Den. But actually turns out it is called Dream Castle. Just the island is called Floating Castle. So I don't know what's the deal with that. At least I wasn't wrong. Anyway, so this is a skeleton boss. Now there is a quick way to do this guy. In order to do this, you have to provide a hitbox right before he goes to attack. Now the hitbox could be your hair, but it's much easier to do with bombs. So what I do is I throw bombs as well as I put my hair there, because there's a chance if the hair connects, I could do them quicker than if the bomb connects. But I don't want to leave the opening just for the hair, because it's very small. So that's how you do him quickly. You want to provide a hitbox right before he attacks, and if you really want to get like optimized, you will only provide your hair hitbox to ensure that the hair hitbox hits, and do it at the right time. Now I'm not going to go into that level of optimization because it's literally like 10 seconds if you do it perfectly all 3 times for the first like 20 minutes of the game. And I really don't like resetting for something that small, especially when I barely even complete runs. Face forward, cause I got it. That's part of the signature. So I head back to the town, use the super speed. Let me drink some Arizona. Now I posted a tweet that I had got this run earlier, the second I got it. But the reason I've taken so long to release the video is because I wanted to commentate. And when doing the final split, I hesitated. Like I didn't split because I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go with my method of timing or the like Japanese method of timing, where in the Japanese timing you wait for the boss to blow up, and when he starts blowing up, that's when you split. But I actually entered the wrong house there, so I lost a bit of time. And I found that for whatever reason, in the US version, when I had played yesterday on the final boss as Ye, I could not hit his tonsil on my way out. So I decided to keep my Goemon strats, as the Dream Castle Hell section is incredibly difficult as Ye, and it's not worth it. You lose a lot of time just off the fact you can literally get stuck, and will almost always get stuck. But here I'm continuing with the quest. It's really easy with level 3. You just hit it, and you hit a couple monsters off screen to save a bit of time, as there is a delay between when you can hit them, and your level tier does not matter. They will always take 3 hits. So I just catch them with the projectile. Now I got this new swag trick here that I like to do. I like to face forward on the final hit, and to do this you basically have to hit the enemy with a range and then start turning. You can use your bombs, or you can use the projectile. I use the projectile in this case. So now we're heading to the gates, and this trick I'm about to do can freeze your game, but I do it anyway. If you time it perfectly, it won't freeze your game. If you time it really poorly, it will. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's worth it, but to me it is. I want to do this. It's worth it to me, you know. I even like, alright, whatever. I won't spoil anymore. But for those who've never played this game, this part literally makes no sense. So if you don't know the story, Impact is currently being controlled by a brain-controlled scarecrow that happens to have Omitsu inside it. Why is Omitsu inside it? It's never explained. But that's just how it is. This is a camera manipulation. By holding one way on the joystick and the other on the D-pad, you can manipulate the camera. The reason I do this little fidgety back thing is because these jumps are very easy to miss time. So I just wanted to give myself vision so that I don't mess it up. And across here, jump, and I switch over to Goemon. Goemon actually runs slower, but he has a higher jump, and he takes a slightly different route because he has a higher jump. Now this trick can be done as Sasuke, and then after you do it, you must make a really difficult jump across. Goemon can hop up this wall much easier, and he goes up here, through here, and across. Whereas Sasuke would have to go across and then back over. Well, not so much back over, but yeah, just across. And he would jump up on the opposite side of this where Goemon just ends there. It's arguable who saves more time, Sasuke or Goemon. Personally, I use Goemon because the US version is... I got a few tricks in the next segment as Goemon, so I don't have to switch. And I got a few tricks as Goemon to get on top of these blocks earlier. This is one of them where I slightly alter the camera, but I mess up. I end up pressing down twice and I get there just too late and I miss time to jump. So I messed up there, which cost me some time. It's probably like a couple seconds. I mess up twice here, and then I go for the jump here, I miss it, and then I miss it again. So again, just losing some time. It's not too major, but it kind of really sucks. So again, just hop through those. I take the damage because it's worth it. I shouldn't even have bothered grabbing the Lucky Cat because tier 2 is actually slower than tier 1. But I figured since I got it, I would kill the knight instead of jumping over it, just not to risk things. Take the pot. Nope, I skip over it because I have a tier 2. It will waste time. So the next section, we kind of just run to the end. This is probably where Goemon would be losing time, because he has no edge advantage over Sasuke here, where Sasuke would just be running through it. The only difference here with Goemon is he has access to a dumpling in case you mess up, where Sasuke does not have access. There's also a Lucky Cat. Alright, so yeah, we just continue on through these rocks. Actually, took a break, but I paused the recording and restarted it, so you won't know that unless I tell you. But yeah, here's the dumpling I was talking about that Goemon can get to, Sasuke can't. Here I get a golden pipe, which is kind of cool. Now I have faster attacks, assuming I aim them vertically. Jump through. I actually get a dumpling off of that chomp guy as well. I don't even know what half the enemies are called, to be honest. I wait here for the damage boost. Saves like, I don't know how much time that saves, but it's quite a chunk because you don't have to go through a whole little section. I jump up to get the platform to raise early so that I could get up top early as well. Looking like back and forth to make sure the audio is relatively synced. Probably about 2 seconds ahead, so Now we should be about perfect. Now my video editing skills are probably the most mediocre you've ever seen. I'm talking Windows Movie Maker, record the voice and slap it on there and hope it fits. So if there ever is a desync, it's because I sometimes stop and restart. But I try to get everything on like par. So hopefully this turns out right. Anyway, so I climb up here, get on this pole, and I jump across. I do a little hop up here to try to get the platform to go up, but it doesn't. So I just step on it, grab the life, and then continue up over those guys. This stretch of Eagle Castle is very simple. It's just a matter of not failing on any of these weird, very easy jumps. That's probably the hardest part. I get hit there, it actually doesn't lose any time to get hit in both these sections as long as I jump outright. Which I kind of delay my jump because I didn't expect to get hit. Hop up so the platform's just high enough for me to jump to the next level. And then I just run across. Now, just gonna eat some Pop-Tarts because why not? This part is straightforward. Now this boss fight is simple. You just want to kill him as quickly as possible. To do this you want to hit balls back, but not so quickly that they don't count. However, one of the balls I hit canceled his animation of firing more balls. So that actually hurt me, because I have to weigh out this attack now, whereas before I would just have balls galore to hit. Once again, balls come out, I end up being on the not so good side, and I backtrack twice, causing me to only get 2 hits, but it's not too bad. That probably didn't really lose any time as he spawns this, and now only I have to get his 2 hits. So I basically get him there, no problem. Boss is done. That's the brain scarecrow with who just happens to have a Mitsu inside of it, who is apparently powering the device. Next is the first impact fight. This fight, you can't escape certain things, you know. The boss is going to do attacks you don't want to see. It's just a matter of it doing the attack in whatever variation. So this is all good as I get to hit it up. And I decide, let me fire my laser a couple seconds earlier than I usually do. Again, it probably wouldn't change anything as the boss just decides to do relatively whatever it wants. And I don't have the Rio to bring it down quickly. So this is perfect. That's probably the best attack it could have done in that situation. It comes straight towards me, I hit it back, fire more money. In case you didn't know, your second impact can waste your money. At this point, once I see a specialing, I do my laser. Now what I don't want is for it to do its hard attack where it turns into a little ball and fires hard. Luckily, Impact somehow decides, hey, let me hit the boss, completely RNG based. And just like that, all the seconds I lost in Eagle Castle I relatively made up, because it probably would have done an attack I wouldn't have liked. So that's just US Goemon Great Adventure for you. I'm almost done with my Pop-Tart. Just gonna finish it. Oh, my mic volume's alright. It sounds pretty good. You know, it's funny. I always have a lot of distractions. Like I could rarely sit down and do something. Mainly because I either want to get up, go somewhere around my house, because I don't really leave my house other than to go to the gym. So I have a gold pipe, so this makes this level a breeze. I also have a bunch of armor. I don't have to worry too much about getting hit. I actually breezed through this part relatively well. It could have been a little bit faster. I stop sometimes to attack. Or I just do horizontal slashes because these snakes have a weird hitbox. A couple enemies have a really weird hitbox where hitting them with the vertical pipe isn't always safe. Generally they are the smaller enemies. This part you just hop over stuff and attack occasionally. Now here's where we get to do our little jumps. So Goemon with his high jumps, he can get over things without having to go through these annoying platforms. Basically swim all the way through. I hop up here. This is a very difficult trick. I don't get it as quickly as I would have liked to, but it's still decent nonetheless. I accidentally go for the gate, which is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to continue along. I get hit there accidentally. It sucks. Now this is another instance where I abuse Goemon's jump height. To get up top this bamboo stick early, and then I run across. Goemon doesn't have to wait for that frog to hop up. So I'm completely just booking it across this level so far. I hop up here and then hop up here. This saves a little bit of time as you don't have to go across and then back up. Now this is literally just going a circle around this place till you get to the end. It's important to exit towns on entering them so you can have the exit to exit stage option. So here we get yay and then we exit the tea house. The reason I'm moving so fast in towns is because the neutral joystick reset. Now the sucky part about that is it was thought not to work on the US version of the game. And had I known it did work, I would have been doing it all my runs, but I guess here it is now. There's not much I could do about it. This level is basically a repeat of what I already did. Same tricks, except we're gonna go for a different entry pass. It's the same exact route, except it ends a little bit earlier. Yep, there. The reason I wait here is because if you go too early, he's not going to be there. So it's very important that you wait till it's fully nighttime. Now I have to do this level as Sasuke and go towards the underwater part. Be as safe as possible because I want all the armor. I want all the armor for the damage boost I need to do as Sasuke. This is probably the damage boost that is most likely going to cost me runs, as it's not easy, and since it's a damage boost you can only get a certain number of tries without losing massive amounts of time. But first, before we get there, we gotta kill all these snakes and head down under. I missed the transformation skip, which was kind of dumb of me. It's not something you should be making, as all you have to do is mash R. Or just press it upon entering the water. It's a really big window for it. Octopus is really easy to kill, just hit him every time he rears his head. And bam, bam. One of his attacks, it sounds like he says Correa, which is like belt in Spanish. I like think to myself he's whipping them. I don't know. I used to be better at speaking Spanish, but and now I understand most of it. I just don't speak it well, and I feel like really bad when I go to speak Spanish because I literally sound like a retard, like legit, like someone who is just learning a language. It kind of sucks, you know, for someone who used to be more fluent at Spanish. Like the few times I went to DR, I was better at it. But anyway, that's besides the point. So this is a damage boost I was talking about. As you can see, if I did not have armor at all, I would have died there. So that's just how serious it is to have armor points in this section of the game. You don't want to get hit. And dying there would not only mean, like, it wouldn't mean just dying, it would mean losing the rice ball, so I would have to go back to town. Here I play really safe because if I lose the rice ball, I have to go back to town. So I take my time here. It's kind of like forced that I have to take my time here. Because you already pitted into it for failing the damage, the really hard damage boost. You know, you're forced to play like this. Because you don't want to die and lose more time. So this game isn't very forgiving for deaths, as they restart you somewhere. Anyway, so I get my clips in. Hit the octopus up. Yeah, his bazooka attack looks really slow. Like I just look at it compared to Sasuke's, and it just looks really slow. So it's probably not that much slower. As the hit, not for killing the octopus anyway. As what's it called? There's a certain time windows where he can be hit, and it seems completely in line with the bazooka. So it's not really a time loss for being Yay here, as you need her to clip through the ground anyway. Anyway, so basically the rest of the game to Dream Castle is Yay. I won't be changing characters. Now, I don't mind playing Yay. I think Yay is really good. The only problem I have with Yay is her hitbox. Her sword just doesn't hit things sometimes. It literally is the most frustrating thing. To swing at an enemy and not hit them, or even worse, trade blows is probably the worst. And that seems to happen to me the most as Yay. And that's why the underworld is so frustrating, because it's mostly killing enemies. Hell's Tomb Pass is frustrating because it's mostly killing enemies. So I go back and I get to the gate and I just say, you know what, I'm not really gonna go for my bug or my show off trick because it could freeze the game. So I take it easy and I just decide Gay's pretty face will have to wait for another day. You know, those 64 graphics. You have to fire a bazooka shot upon landing there, or you will have to take mandatory damage, as there's a ghost there and he will always hit you if you don't manage to land a perfect landing bazooka after the first jump. So just ways the game likes to fuck you. I get this completely perfect. Because that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Land in the middle so you don't have to wait for transformations. I run past those guys because I really felt good going into this section. Like I felt like I could do it all. Like you saw, that's the ghost that I'm talking about right there, where her hitbox just doesn't hit some things, and the reason it happens is for whatever reason it doesn't seem to travel downwards with you. It only hits in the line of where you first pressed B, and that's a really weird way of like designing it. So in order to get these low down to earth enemies, you'll see me press B right upon landing and jump a little bit earlier. It just won't travel down with you, and it seems to not travel down sometimes, as I do recall like sometimes I just land on things. Anyway, so this is a clip. For whatever reason my clips have been awful. Like I haven't been able to get them as smoothly as I used to. I used to get that clip like instantly. I would just go to section, hold in the direction, press A. This allows me to swim completely across with no worries. Now we don't have to worry about getting hit, and it's faster because I don't have to swim up and down. So here we go. Transfer to Mermaid to swim across this, and people outside are actually playing music, but I don't think my mic is picking it up, so we should be good. Push the rock so you can actually make this jump. As I said, I hit the B button right upon landing in order to hit those guys. If you hit it and try to fall into them, it just won't hit them, or you'll trade damage, which is not what you want to do. Like right there, you saw my hitbox didn't drop low enough to hurt that little guy. Swimming section is straightforward, so is Taisamba fight. So it's just a matter of getting through it. At this point I kind of felt that I was in the clear to PB. I get that clip perfectly. Fortunately I get a little stuck up here, but it's not comparable to the time loss as if I didn't get that clip so early. This is probably like the most boring part. You just swim across. Saves a bit of time. I accidentally hold back. The reason I was holding back there is if you hold down like you do when you swim into the loading zone, they will spawn crouching, and that would lose like a few times. But I think I lost around the same time I did if I was holding down when I walked backwards. Okay, that was really bad sentencing, so I'll rephrase that. If I had been holding down, the time loss I would gain for holding down would be equal to the time I lost for walking backwards. So that'll probably make more sense than my stupid run-on sentence I just said. This guy's just run from him and shoot back. I don't know how to. I remember as a kid I did this section without him even getting close to me. I just can never recreate that. I think the Japanese record does that as well, but the Japanese version is a lot easier than this one, and certain enemy and like boss behaviors are completely different. There we go, this is the Taisamba fight. Ropes take 4 hits to kill. And a lot of this is just dodging around. Occasionally he has 3 attacks. He fires balls at you, he goes underwater, electrifies it, and also shoots like sonic waves at you. I actually have to really go to the bathroom. But since my editing skills, so he actually fired it the reverse way. I think that's the only time you can see that. Another trick I do is I hop on the rope and hop over that sometimes. Yeah, I'm actually gonna head to the bathroom because but I'm gonna keep everything going because my editing skills are so poor. I don't want to deal with that anymore. So the boss fight plays out exactly how you think it was. There's nothing special. So I'll be back for the impact boss fight, hopefully. Because I'll probably get distracted and have to do something else. For my mom, maybe, I don't know. My sisters, that's how my household works. Alright, I'm back. Taisamba down. And we're moving on to the impact boss fight. Now this boss fight is interesting because Taisamba is weird. So he always starts same thing, he charges towards you. However, his next couple attacks are variable. Generally speaking, he shoots out balls every couple attacks, which he'll do now. Hit the balls, and then he'll choose another angle to charge, or he'll just come up to your face, which basically he came up to my face. Now, oddly, missing lasers is not as bad as I originally thought it was, because for a reason, missing laser traps him into doing his basic attacks. Which I missed there, which sucks, but impact saves the day. Miss impact hits him back to me, which is just completely luck based, so I lucked out twice on impact fights. He does his drive-by attack. And he comes charging towards me, and then all I have to do is hit him super punches one more time. And just land a good laser, which I do. I don't actually lose that much time for missing a laser because it traps. For whatever reason, the bosses get confused and they start repeating attacks. I don't know why that is. I noticed this on several bosses where I accidentally miss lasers. With the boss fight finished, we move on to Hell, which is actually called Mafu Island. I call it Hell because at one point it was probably the hardest part of the game, and kinda still is probably the hardest part of the game for me. Outside the final castle and a few minor places. You have to wait here or these platforms will crush you. That's what I do. Part is decently easy until the water and transform, at which point you will die, Rice Ball will respawn you, and you'll be able to swim under the level. I found a way to activate this earlier in the level, however it takes more time as you have to break invisible barriers that take quite a while to break. They're not easy to break. And like controls get reversed at one point. It's a big mess, but it's doable. Once this way is much easier. You don't have to worry about reverse controls. You just swim through. Transform back. Try to jump up. Miss a few times. Take my time and get up. And we're good. So far the run at this point was looking really good. I was happy with my play for the most part, other than those few mishaps at Ego Castle. Part goes relatively easy until these bats, with their deceptive hitbox, hit me. Hop over this, and I push through. Normally I do the top part first. After looking at my health and knowing that damage must be taken, did the lower part. As you just saw there, which I didn't point out right away because I was talking a bit, I actually grabbed the Lucky Cat and Ryu at the same time, which does the instant level 3 weapon glitch. So this is a thing, you know, if you kill 2 enemies, one drops the Lucky Cat, and you land and you grab the Ryu, while I believe you have to be in the air, it will turn into a level 3. So, cool, you know, I got a level 3 weapon without having to do much. I shouldn't have hit that guy because it caused him to aggro, causing him to chase me. Luckily he dropped the dumpling, whereas I would be dead here. Take my time shooting that guy because I didn't want to die at the very end of the level. That costs a lot of time. With the entry pass, face the screen because why not? Just a reminder that Swimsuit Yay is the best Yay. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Suit Yay is cool, but Swimsuit Yay all day. Why? Because it shrinks her hair, and I like the fact that it shrinks her hair. Makes it more like narrow. So I use the neutral joystick reset to get this high jump, reset it back, and then continue on. I get hit a lot here, which is risky. I charged through and I managed to be alright. Here I have to take my time. As you saw, my hitbox just went through that guy, which is annoying. I couldn't hit the bat, so I just decided to move through. I use my bazooka here because I don't want to mess things up. I have to take damage there. Up over these pots. I don't know why I did this so slowly. I guess I was anticipating an enemy that wasn't going to be there. Missed the early hit, but it's okay. And we get to the next level. This part you could actually die in because these Kappas have a deceptive hurt box, where they can hit you from pretty far away if you aren't careful. I'm really hesitant about this part because it's not as easy as it looks. It's very possible to just die here just by swimming through a jellyfish and being caught on the like one frame. You aren't invincible while mashing A. But I managed to make it through. I mean, that part, it looked awfully fast here, but when playing it, I felt it in like slow motion. But humans have the ability to perceive time as slower than it really is, so I'm not actually surprised. It's just a little interesting to go back and see that part, which felt like forever be done in a couple seconds, how it actually was. Exit the town for the exit to town option, then I go on a little shopping spree. I want to keep my health and armor up. I buy a fish rice ball, silver armor. I try to grab the surprise pack and miss. Activate the neutral control stick to run faster. I get a little bit stuck. And here I buy some pancakes? No, dumpling. Okay. I don't know what they sell in these shops. Just buy it because I know the second option heals health. Still using the speed to try to get that little bit of an edge here. And fake entry pass incoming. So if you haven't seen it, I don't know how to stop this. But we always get a fake entry pass here that doesn't count for anything. It's just a spawn bug. And it costs a couple seconds. And it's also very frustrating just to see happen. Oh, I have a theory for this. So the first thing you go deliver is a pencil. I get a little bit stuck trying to glitch and decide let me opt not to do it. So we get a pencil and he says, oh, return this to my friend. That's my pencil, you hand it over. Now he has a handkerchief. The handkerchief you hand over to Iguana as well, who then I try to activate it, I get it to save a bit of time. So you hand back the handkerchief and it reeks. He hasn't washed it. From there you get a comic book, which you deliver to the last guy. Now here's where things take a twist. So a pencil, a handkerchief, a comic book, and a video. The first one was a video. And he was attacked for the comic book. So what I believe happened is they used the pencil to stab him, cleaned up the blood with the handkerchief, and recorded the whole thing for just to get his comic book. That's my opinion on what happened. I'm not Sherlock Holmes, but it seems to make a lot of sense, as like fucked up as that is. I mean, it could be bad translation. Maybe there's more to it than has been translated and there's something missing. But out from this translation, I believe they recorded a stabbing with a pencil and then cleaned up with a handkerchief. Or used the handkerchief to wipe up the pencil. I'm not exactly sure. But that seemed, and then they just like scattered the evidence between each other. That's my idea of what happened. Could be wrong. No, I'm pretty sure I'm right. So here I get kind of screwed because he's just out of range. He throws an axe. The thing tanks it, so I'm just forced to use my bazooka lock on because I can't get an angle on him. I don't want to drop down. Unfortunately, I get hit by a bat. And they're really weird hitbox, so that sucks. I lose my rice ball, but that's why I bought one, so I wouldn't lose more time than just the revive time, which isn't too long. Again, I get like that weird ghost hit. Jump across. This part sucked. So I had thought I pressed Z, and the reason you can't rush that guy and kill him is not just because of the axe, but the guy who blows up underneath the level can actually hit you off the platform. So that's why that happened. Now I had thought I pressed Z, which if I had pressed Z it wouldn't have happened. It just kinda sucked, you know? But whatever, you just gotta take the time loss and keep moving. Once again, I opt not to go for my base to screen strat, well, trick, because it could freeze the game, so I wanted to secure this run. So this is Mafu Castle. My Mafu Castle actually goes well-ish, I believe. I can't quite recall. I know the first bit goes really well. And I kinda luck out in a few sections. I take the damage because I wanted to do that section a little bit quicker than the usual, which involves stopping and shooting guys as they come. Those eyeballs who throw like purple haze. Grab the monkeys. So next you're gonna see the golden cat strat, which I actually found. It involves using a damage boost off this axe to get to the upper part. Now what this grants you is a golden cat, some bonus cash, and the ability to completely skip quicksand, which is probably the major area where you save time. You don't get stuck in quicksand back there. On top of this, you no longer have to worry about these damage skips, which these damage skips hurt. So imagine if I didn't grab that golden cat, I'd be at 1 health. I try to do this as quick as possible and decide to just go jump for it. And I barely avoid getting crushed between the two. It wouldn't have killed me, but it would take a bar away. This jump's a little bit tricky, but I get it down. There I luck out as it closes as I'm about to land, so I stand on top of it. This section actually goes really well for me. Once again, I luck out, and I just keep going. Why not? Jump up. Now I could be mistaken, I accidentally get hit there, but I'm pretty certain that in the Japanese version there aren't as many of those firecracker breakable rocks. Because when watching my friend who's going to be doing this game in European Speedster Assembly, whatever it's called, ESA, he didn't seem to have as many rocks here. More specifically, he didn't have the one that's coming up, or at least I don't think he had. This one is completely unfair. Or it looks completely unfair, because if you miss that jump, you fall under. Luckily, for whatever reason, that small little ledge you saw poking out on the left side is actually standable. So if you miss the jump, you'll just land on that ledge and have a second try. Or infinite tries as long as you keep landing on that ledge. So this section is easy. You want to do it as quick as possible, so I take damage. There's a way to do it where you wouldn't end up with any missing health, but I think I do it wrong. I get hit once. Take my time walking across this. I'm supposed to jump right away there and follow that all the way through, I believe. I end up not doing that. Jump, make it, hop across. These jumps are very difficult. As in, you have to do the yay release jump. If you don't do the yay release jump, you fall in the lava. Now at this point, I'm forced to take damage unless I get a I'm forced to die unless I get a dumpling. I luckily get a dumpling, however, I'm now at 1 health. Which is probably the scariest part about this. Try to hit this guy and he was just being a pain in the ass. And I go for this guy, I end up just missing the jump because I didn't do the yay release. I should have took my time there, but now I'm able to just breeze through without worry about my health so much. And then I get surrounded by 3 guys. So I'm literally in the exact same position. I was completely screwed. Unless I did a facing forward vertical attack, I was not going to not take damage there. And I couldn't do it. To do that on command is pretty ridiculous. I'm very careful when making jumps here because if you stand on the tippy part, which makes the jump easier, and press forward before you press A, it's possible that you slide off without jumping because you fall off the top part and your A button isn't registered because you're in the air when you press A. I make it across, I make it to the boss fight, and I believe I messed up this boss fight slightly. So you're supposed to hit him, and then you're supposed to hit him while the ghost is there, and at this point your weapon matters as he takes damage correlating to the level of your weapon. So you will always see this attack. However, I get another attack that I wasn't supposed to see. So I lost some time here. Any minute now he could finish. This attack literally feels like it takes forever. I hit him, he jumps, and I hit him again. Perfect. Alright, but I think here is where I mess up. So I hit him good. Hit him, but I end up seeing this attack. And I normally don't see this attack, so I'm not really sure exactly what I did wrong. Most of it looked right. Then I just finish him off. I might not have been standing close enough to him. After that we move on to the impact fight, which is a relatively easy impact fight because the guy always comes up to your face. He doesn't really stall or anything. Just runs up and tries to hit you. I think his name is like Thunder or something, Thunder God? Something weird like that. I don't really know. He just loves getting super punched. Like the god of Wind of Thunder or something. Once again, super punched into a laser this time. Bam. Wonder if they're ever going to make like a game somehow dedicated to impact fights, you know, another Goemon game for maybe like the Wii U. I think like a Wii U like impact integration with impact fighting would be so epic. Like you could just, I don't know, I feel like it would be a good idea, you know, to have like a big robot battle fights on the gamepad. I could, like, I don't know, it's just a thought. I would really like to see a Goemon game for the Wii U. He does this attack, I decide to laser him in his face. At this point he's at 200 health, so Super punch him again. And he's finished. Now, interesting enough, the damage on the super punch, I'm pretty sure is 400. Damage on the laser, I think, is also 400. I could be wrong, but versus Death God, the final impact boss, all these damages are double. Death God has 6666 health. 6,666 health. I'm not too sure on the punch and laser. Maybe punches are 300 and laser is 400. I don't know. I forget everything. Where on earth is the summoning sheen? Summoning sheen. Summoning sheen. Did I read that right? I think they made a typo. Whatever. Summoning sheen. Oh, summoning machine. Whatever, man. So basically, these levels are a lot of attacking things. Now this is where Ye's hitbox really annoys me, because it doesn't seem to drop with you, so you kind of just have to press B at the right time or bust. I get that hop up there, which is awesome. Skips having to deal with that blue guy, the eyeball flaring ass. Try not to get hit because I want to have as much armor as possible for Wonder Valley, which is my opinion is the hardest level of this part, which I think everyone could agree. You have to do it twice, massive amounts of enemy, long as hell. A death is literally a reset on that level because there aren't many checkpoints. I should actually correct that. A death later on, a death away from the checkpoint is towards the end is basically a reset. It takes like more than a minute to do that level. Once again, I'm trying to conserve armor and health for that level because I know it's so ridiculous. I play this actually pretty well for someone who hates Ye's hitbox. I do this section pretty well. This is actually my best Ghost World, and I don't know if it's the best because of play, but I do get a manipulation strat on Kabuki, the first form, not the impact form. It saves a bit of time. I gotta learn the manipulation strats for him. Unfortunately, I don't have the save files to practice certain aspects of the game, so most of the time it's just run or die, where I just go on a run or else. I used the damage to secure that jump because I wasn't feeling too confident. These little guys actually have hurt boxes on the US version, so you have to be careful with them. Gotta respect them sometimes. I get set up there completely, like, I just felt robbed at the ascending point. I avoid getting hit anymore. And we're at the end. I mess up when hitting a few of these raccoons, which I probably should correct. So this is the worst and the hardest level of the game. To me. These guys, when they swing their sword, they have a really big hurt box, so... well, really big hitbox, I should say. I don't know. Hurtbox, hitbox. Hurtbox is where you get hit, so they have a really big hitbox, let's just say. I gotta respect these small guys and take my time with them. I have a tier 3, but I get it right here, so it's no worries. Fortunately, I have to keep it, which I actually do. This jump's not hard. You just have to get the release jump. I ended up losing it here. Get it back. I also get dumplings, so I don't have to worry about the damage boost as much. Though the first ghost you need to have at nighttime in order to do this damage boost. Luckily it's not too hard of a damage boost, so you don't have to worry too much about doing multiple tries. And then the rest of the level is relatively easy. It's not so much risky platform. You can actually land under here, but you don't have to worry too much about falling. And then with tier 3, those ghosts become a breeze. Here you have to worry about falling, and it is very possible to get hit, so I take my time there. I finished only one playthrough of this level. I have to do it again, this time top side. And this time we're going top side, so just gotta go through. Turns morning, so this level becomes slightly easier. One good thing about this level is all the fighting basically guarantees you having enough Ryo to buy the entry pass and floating castle. Decided to grab a little bit of extra money. This is really straightforward. There's not much to say other than just Ye's hitbox is dumb. I luck out a bit with drops here. That's always nice. You get the game actually favoring you for once. You can land there, and here, so falling isn't as big as a risk as I'm making it. I'd just rather not fall down there and have to struggle, get back up. And with that, the level's done. Now we're on to the town, which I exit so that I can have the exit to town option. That saves some time. And I just use the super speed, which helps me do it faster. I go here to buy some backup so I don't lose this run. Oh, here is where I buy the pancake I was thinking about the other time. And using super speed, jump up, and then across. Try to use the super speed here, but I mess up. I decided, let me just run it normal. So I'm basically there. Children? Yeah, I'll play with them, why not? It's funny because I'm pretty certain, like, I used the super speed here there, but I messed up a bit. I'm pretty sure hide and seek with children seems to be a trend over there in Japan. I mean, because this isn't multiple games where you have to find kids who are hiding. In quite a few games. I just can't remember specifically which ones. I can tell you it's at least in Wind Waker and Majora's Mask. I feel like it's in a few other ones. I just don't remember which off the top of my head. So I get a pretty good pattern here because I could remember exactly where all the kids are. But I still check some houses just in case. I take this time to use the glitch as it'll speed things up a little bit. I use it again but I accidentally get pause menu. So I just continue on and I get the last kid before the text box is up. Pink Tiger. Oh, I'm caught. I'm pretty sure Yellow Higer is meant to be autistic. And I mean that in the least offensive way possible. Again, trying not to freeze the game. We're on to the next castle, which is 100% straightforward. Unfortunately. Doesn't get a little bit tricky until the boss fight. Just straightforward castle platforming. What is it called? Like Underworld Castle? No, it's Ego Castle, Mafu Castle. Oh, so that would be explain why I got confused, because there's Ego Castle, Ryugu Castle, which is the name of the island, Mafu Castle, Underworld Castle, and then it goes Floating Castle as the island, and then Dream Castle as the actual castle. So that would explain the whole big confusion. You could land, you could swim in the water, but there's no point. I do this castle relatively well. I don't accidentally throw myself off. I swing back because it looked like it was coming towards me. I also ran off that platform, which was risky. You probably should jump. Grab the dumpling, wait for the platform, kill the shooter. I believe it's possible to make this jump, but I decided not to go for it because I wasn't fully running and committed towards it. Same here, I want to wait for this platform even though I'm pretty sure I could just hop across. It's not very safe. And I would assume you get a Ye's release jump perfect, which isn't too difficult. It's just a matter of timing, and it just adds another aspect of difficulty to a relatively simple task. Bar is all running. Running and don't get hit. This is the part I don't like because it's just weird that you have to vertically climb these rappelling platforms. This is a little annoying. And on top of that, guess who's waiting for you at the top? The shooter. And I have had cases where for whatever reason he shot the bullet as I'm jumping. It was just completely unavoidable. I just had to take it and it sucked. Those robots walk too slow and they don't jump very far, so not worth to go inside. Just interesting to watch myself do things. I don't know, maybe it's a bit of narcissism, but I like to see myself do things that I've already done. But maybe that's normal. Just to know that I'm the guy behind this controller. I'm doing all this is kind of funny. Yeah, that's probably some form of narcissism. I get hit there, but getting hit once doesn't change much as there's 2 power-ups waiting for you at the end. long as you're careful and don't get hit again, you'll be fine. Now this is a boss. There is a way to skip certain of his attacks. To do this, you have to attack his feet at the right time. However, I don't know the time for it, and I'm always afraid that I'm attack him too early when he's doing the attack I want him to do. So as a result, I'm very skeptical about this. Like there I felt like I don't know if he's scripted to do that, if I messed up because I hit him too early. I don't know, so I'm like very unsure about this tactic and I gotta check it later. Yeah, chase him down while he does his hops. I should probably fire my bazooka as... Oh, I hit him again because I figured he was going to jump up in the background, and that's basically the idea behind the manipulation strat. Is to hit him so he won't do his background attack. I hit him again and I think I got it right, but I'm not too sure. It's now down to basically his last cycle. And I missed the attack because I did it vertically. I think I was on the right track to stop him from doing this. I just sent the attack vertical and not horizontal so it didn't hit him. He does this attack, which is perfect. That's what I want him to do. However, upon landing that, I realize he's now living with 1 health. So I run, jump, well not jump, I just run and fire my bazooka. And it's a direct hit to the shin, so that's basically the boss. Now we move on to the next impact boss fight, and then to the World of Disappointment, where I felt like I was cheated in the next segment of the game. Like I just got really, it just really sucked. So after this boss fight is where things go kinda downhill for me. I get lucky. Well actually I don't know. Miss Impact seems to have been doing that, and most of my runs that have gotten to this point, she just decides, hey, let me hit Kabuki right away. I'm starting to believe that's scripted, but whatever. I decide to wait because he looks like he's gonna do an attack that brings him to my face. I get another super punch in him and then fire my laser. So a double tap happens. I don't know why. Impact hit him, he didn't fly forward, and then impact hit him again. This time actually sending him forward. Again, luck kinda pulling its weight here. Get the punches on. I thought about firing my laser, and once I saw he committed to attack, I go for it. Because I wanted to make sure it hits. I didn't want to miss. And now he's basically one super punch away from meeting his end. Certainly enough, he just goes straight towards me. So that was free. It's Shining Finger. I'm gonna call it Shining Finger because that's what it was in G Gundam. That's what it looks like in this game. Am I the only one? Is it Burning Fingers or Shining Fingers? I don't know, but in G Gundam, one of the G Gundams, or should I just say in one of the Gundams, I don't even know anything about that series anymore. But I remember on Tsunami, it was Burning Fingers, where, yeah, that was like the signature attack of the main character. It had to be Burning Fingers. And that's exactly what that attack looks like to me every time I see it, so I'm just gonna call it Burning Finger. Or is it Shining Finger? I'm pretty sure it's Burning Finger. I take the lower path because it has a golden cat. Now, this is what you're supposed to do, you know, you're supposed to do one segment and then move on to the left to the next level. However, make a mistake and it ends up ruining my night and day cycle and costing me time. And and the reason I made this mistake is just not playing enough. I had taken a really long hiatus and I had just gotten back to the game like yesterday. I'm somehow able to beat my PB. You know, it's strange. Once you have the skill, it's just a matter of being accustomed to things. Like, I wouldn't have made this mistake if I had played more constantly. That's the part that saddens me, is I would have known what to do here. I wait for the platform because last time I tried for that jump, which is very possible, you can make that jump, but you requires release jump, and if you fail it, it's a death. The rest of the level is relatively a breeze. So at this point I hold Z and re-enter the level. Now this is a mistake. So holding Z spawns you in the middle, which is perfect. However, you're not supposed to do this level twice, or you will kill your night and day cycle, which is exactly what I did. I did this level twice, and now my night and day were messed up. So when I arrive at the town, it won't be the cycle that I want it to be. It won't be. Yeah, it just won't be a cycle that I want it to be, which is fail, you know. So you have to just know where these platforms are and just go for the jumps. I do. I try to make this jump, but I mess up, so I go for that one. I mess up again. I go for the release, I get it, then continue on. Wait for this platform, go for a release, miss twice, and then I'm forced to go under, which loses a bit of time. At this point, it's already starting to turn nighttime. Which would be perfect if I was already doing a level that would have put me in the town. Unfortunately, I have another level to go, so this was a big mistake doing this level twice. So I move on to another. I move on to the shortest because I thought that would make me on time, you know. I thought it was gonna secure it for me, but turns out I made a mistake. Had I taken a longer level, it would have been morning. Just off of the level being longer, I would have been able to make a more clearer decision. So at this point, I kind of already realized I messed something up. I just go on and continue to finish the level because that's what I have to do at this point. But I enter like a small level of like uncertainty where I kind of didn't really know what to do. When I get to the town, basically, like, I knew I had messed up, but what do you do once you mess up, sort of thing. I was thinking about it during like this level. I decided to just try to pull it anyway. So I had committed to try and pull it anyway. I grabbed the golden cat and I try to clear this level as quickly as possible because I see the cycle changing already. And I'm forced because I can't run. I try to run through these guys to get to the end faster, but it's just no real use. And I get to the town. Now, I have to exit the town to save time. So I exit the town, and now I make a run for it. I'm trying to get to the merchant to buy the entry pass before morning time. But I really start to realize I'm out of time. And I realize I didn't get the super speed, but it wouldn't have mattered because it's already too late. But having faith, I continue anyway to try to check if he's there. And I just continue on. I accidentally pause. And that's when I realize he's not there. Exit the stage. Luckily now I'm a little bit confused, but I realize I'm gonna just go for the morning pass. Again, I mess up with the super speed. I get trapped in a corner, which is total fail. I decided to take it easy because I still have to wait for it to fully turn morning for me to take the delivery quest. Buy some gold armor, try to buy a rice ball, but I can't because I already have one. I buy some lives, realize my money, stop, and go to take the delivery quest. Now I get screwed out of my mind on this quest. Like I'm already annoyed at the fact that I missed getting the entry pass because I did the same level twice, which I wasn't supposed to do so early. And then on top of that, I can't find this guy at all. I just couldn't find him. I tried running around. I run up and down. And he's nowhere to be found. I just don't see him. And this is probably the most frustrating part of the quest, is running up and down this bridge looking for a guy who randomly spawns and just isn't there. So I decided to go with my the alternative strat here, which I haven't really tested. Normally I would just run around up and down till he appears. I am already frustrated with the time loss having ran to the merchant, so I decided to go for the reset strat, which is you alter the RNG, you hope for different RNG, and to find them in the top right where I go here, and he's not there. So once again I'm still second guessing myself, and instead of restarting when he's not there, I check another spot and he's not there. So I restart again. At this point I'm really just getting screwed by RNG. It's just not going my way. This quest can end in literally or whatever that is on the timer. Those are not seconds at all. But it's just not happening. Check the secondary spot, he's not there. Quit the mission again. Once again, take 4. Search for him again. And he's still not there, and this is where I get really frustrated because I don't know what to do anymore. I'm running up and down this bridge looking for a guy who's obviously avoiding me. I check left, and I decide to take a little bit longer here to maybe he'll appear, maybe he'll show himself. But to no avail, he's still not around. So once again I reset. And then I accept the quest again. And I check my spot where he should be. And he's still not there. And I got really mad at this point. Because I didn't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I could keep running up and down this bridge and hope he shows himself. But he never does. I decide to check all the way on this side. I'll get in the top part to see maybe if I see him in the distance I could just chase him down. But no. He's just not around. So once again, I start the quest. I check my spot. And finally he's there. So it just sucked, you know. A run who was going so well, I get screwed up like that. It just is not the way you want to go out. So now we're moving on to the final level of this, which is Sky Garden. Sky Garden is not too difficult. You just kind of proceed along. There's no real danger to falling anywhere. There is danger to dying, as they have a bunch of these guys. And they have a lot of other enemies around. I actually like this level a lot in terms of design. I like the random patches of water they have. It's kind of like water in this game. Plays a nice little role when you could swim in it, but you can't swim under it. That's the water I kind of like. Kill these enemies because why not? I forget my route once I kill those guys. I'm like, oh, I missed the platform. Oh well, time to go back. Wait for it. I try to get that jump, but I realized I was gonna make it short. I just hop back to the original platform. Oddly, you could argue that me missing there did not lose any time because of the way the night and day cycles still have to play out. I still have to make it to the merchant at a certain time of the night. So as long as I don't exceed that night time, me do double stepping there wouldn't have lost time. And right now it's still morning, so I still got a while to wait. Stage was simple, and I move on to the final entry pass, which I have to buy from the merchant. Once again, I mess up and get stuck in a corner. And then I can't get the super speed, but I realize, hey look, I gotta wait for the nighttime cycle anyway, so getting super speed there won't matter too much. Get it here, and then guess what happens? As I'm running across here, I realize I'm gonna make it there too early, so I start to slow down a little bit. Decide to take a little bit more time. And what ends up happening is I make it there too early. So I have to go back, make sure I give him room to spawn, because I'm not so sure he spawns like right in front of your face. Then I run back once the second star appears, where I'm certain he's going to be there. Oh, as you can see me, I died before selling this last where and continue clinging on there. Did you buy this? What will a ghost do with money? I guess he asked for so much. Like how he's like, oh no, I gotta move on. So I'll sell it to you for 500. At this point I got fed up, so I said, fuck it, I'm gonna do my swag anyway. I don't give a fuck if it freezes the game. I got screwed by RNG hard enough already. And I get it perfectly, it doesn't freeze the game. Only freezes the game if you completely botch the timing. Which is still a risk, a unnecessary risk to add for the sole purpose of looking at the camera. This is Dream Castle or Floating Castle. Pretty sure it's Dream Castle. I looked it up and confirmed that yes, it is Dream Castle. Even though the place is called Floating Castle, whatever. Don't know why that is. At this point I basically know I'm going to PB, because I'm ahead by a lot, and I didn't mess up at all in the levels. I only messed up because I got screwed by RNG, and I messed up with the night and day cycles. I didn't die in the levels, so assuming I have a really good Dreamcast, so I realized I was in complete clear to PB. So I go for safe strats here. Now this may not look so safe. You know, I ran out and got hit. I have a rice ball on me. So I hop over these flames, and I miss-hop that one. I end up getting hit. I'm like, oh, okay, and I get hit again. So I realize I have a rice ball, so I intentionally die here to proc the rice ball, giving me 3 points of health, as well as some invincibility to hop to the flame. That's probably the smartest thing I've did. And now I have 3 points of health, and I don't have to worry. There I got hit. Cool. And I jump across. The reason I wanted to waste my rice ball there is because I didn't want to risk getting hit here on these platforms or anywhere else where I would fall through and the rice ball wouldn't matter. Now you could run across these, but I'm at this point, I don't want to risk anything because I'm in complete clear PB. Choking out here would just be a big disappointment, so I take my time with this, make it across without deaths. Stay A because I have to swim under. Hop across. This part's relatively easy as her. You just go. It's all about speed and making these moderately easy jumps. I get that guy on my back, which kinda just sucked. He just hopped on my back for no reason. Shoot that bird down with bazooka. It's possible just to take the damage here and hop across, but I didn't want to risk anything at this point, as I said. I end up getting hit anyway. I'm just whatever. I'll take it. I almost got dropped on by that guy, but it wouldn't have mattered because that entrance is a checkpoint. Get the transformation skip, and I go for the golden cat here because of safety. The next segment is pretty hard, and I'm also going in 2 health. I'd rather go in level 3 and some armor. Now I go for my clip, which I discovered, and I just can't seem to get it. So after a few tries of realizing I cannot get this clip for whatever reason, I forgot how to do it. I gotta look at my own video to see how I do my own clip because I haven't played in a while. Which is kind of like that really hit home right there. If nothing else did, like running up the night and day cycle, it really hit home that I just kind of gotta study my stuff before I get back into stuff. It was definitely that. So I switched to Goemon, and I continued to level as Goemon. The reason I switched to Goemon is the next section is retarded as yay. Like I cannot describe how bad it is to play Yay in the next, like not this section, but actually this whole section is pretty difficult. Goemon makes the jumps easier. This is just basic jumping, platforming. Speed won't matter here. Well, it could, but not as much as missing a jump might matter. I get hit there. I don't know exactly why, but I just continue on. I get hit here because I tried. Oh no, I actually dodged it with a jump, so that was pretty smooth of me. Get up here. I get hit there though, which for what reason? Yeah, I do get hit. Okay. Now I make it to this section. This part is retarded as Yay. So in order to do this part as Yay, you have to perfectly time your release jumps, which I can do, but that's not the issue. So upon having to perfectly time your release jumps, there's a segment in this which, right here, If this, once you make it across that one, the rest is really easy. You just gotta time your perfect release jumps. And here you make it across. Here you cannot elevate yourself to jumping across. As Ye, you have to break those hands and hope those guys do not land on your back. Those hands die in 2 hits and there's 3 of them. You cannot perfectly sync all 3 of their deaths. As you cannot do that. As you cannot hit all 3 of them with a level 1 or a level 2 weapon. So you only have to break like 1 on the far right and not get hit by those guys who hop on your back. And most of the time what ends up happening is while you're in the middle breaking a hand, one of those guys hops on your back, causing the hands to fully heal if they're down. And it is just like retarded. You have to wiggle free. The hands are healing, they're coming back up. And there's multiple of them. So luckily I have health and a level 2, so I'm decently able to make it past that what I call like the trap, and it literally has killed runs on me several times. Yeah, so I decided using Ye there is just completely dumb. It's just gonna waste time, cause you to play perfect, only to lose time in the end. I take my time here, I end up getting hit because I'm facing forward, so the irony, you live by facing forward and you die by facing forward. So, whatever. It's my only death in this castle and it's not too bad. That guy in there lost like no time. Here being Gay would technically be faster, but not as fast as Goemon. The fact that Goemon's able to do the last part, the hell part faster, completely makes up for the time loss here. Top of that, Goemon deals much better with the final boss, as he can hit the final boss mid-screen, where Ye cannot seem to do that from my testing. Her hitbox just doesn't travel with her as much as Goemon does. So I pop in and out to get a tier 3 for the final boss. So this is Death God. He gets tapped just inside of my super punch range. Try to hit him with as much Rio as possible. Does like quite a bit of damage. They call it coins, which is funny. They actually decided to translate it to coins instead of Rio. I fire a laser, but he jukes left. Now normally he tends to go towards the center of the screen. So I tried to manipulate him, his desire to head towards the center by doing that. Fortunately, he decided to go left. So it's better to fire lasers when you're guaranteed to hit him. And then he does his attack that gets up close to my face, so he gets wrecked for it. I throw punches out to charge my bar. Thought about lasering him, but then I saw him doing this attack and figured, hey, that's a free super punch. And he does that attack, so I'm like, oh cool, another super punch. And I think I'm still looking for a window to laser him. I find one right here. So far this boss was going pretty decently outside the missed laser. At this point I'm out of Ryu. He gets tapped forward, which sucks because there's no way I could hit him there. But he gets double tapped, which is like, holy shit, what a miracle. Maybe we'll get another attack on him, which is perfect. And he does this. So in order to deal with this attack, you just have to super punch when the ghost is pretty close to you. And I try to go for a laser, but he spins out of the way. Which if I had waited, I would have caught him with the... I would have caught him spinning, got a super punch, and then maybe have lasered him when he did a move. I lost some time here just by just being kind of dumb. I shouldn't have did that. I'm always done with my lasers on this fight. I gotta conserve them. At this point, he's basically one super punch away from dying or one laser. Start seeing this. I'm trying to charge up my my laser. And I thought about firing it, but I realized he had stopped his attack, and then suddenly he does this. I have to switch. This is where things get a little bit bad. The fire actually blocked my switch. And if he gets too close to you, like I'm talking really close to you, he can actually block your baton. So if the fire had blocked it long enough to the point where he got in my face, I would have died there, and there would have been nothing I could have done about it. Because I have 400 health, if you block, you only live with 100, assuming you have 500 health. So with 400 health, I would have not lived that. Maybe I would have lived it by 30, but the fire would have handled me and taken me down even lower. I actually kind of just barely made it. And this boss is ridiculous for having traps where it could literally just end your career. And that was right, that would have been right at the end and probably would have killed the run. So that's Death God for you. So here, I decided, hey, I could do this without dying, you know, as long as I have tier 3, nothing can stop me. But of course I get hit, so I'm just like, fuck it, now I have to die, because this boss takes about like probably twice as long on both sections if you don't have tier 3. So it's ridiculous not to go for the death strats assuming you don't have a tier 3 weapon. I'm talking literal twice. He would take less damage on this form. You can't hit him off screen. And on top of not being able to hit off screen and taking less damage, the final boss will actually take less damage. By final boss, I mean his final form will take less damage. And you would have to perfectly time your hits. So it makes no sense not to go for death strats assuming you don't have a tier 3. Here Goemon can wiggle his chain pipe and hit the boss completely off screen, which is awesome. That's exactly what you see me do. Perfect. If that his first form is down, and we're moving on to the second. Straightforward. He takes a lot more hits to open his mouth on the US version. The Japanese version, he only takes like 3 or 4 hits and then he opens his mouth. On the US version, he opens his mouth after 5 hits. Was that 4 hits? I don't know. I know it's more hits. So as you can see, I take 3 points of health from this. And this I try to catch him as many times at the end. Without tier 3, I would not be able to do that as quickly. I haven't been counting how many hits it takes to open his jaw. I missed there, which I'm gonna forces another cycle, but not too much time lost. I jump and hit because it allows me to get that extra hit at the end. when he rages, so I feel like he attacks slightly faster at this point. I make my way over to the golden pipe. I don't believe your pipe affects how many hits it takes for him to open his mouth. It only affects how much damage you do to his tonsil. So here's where I finish him. Now, on the final hit, which is 150-18 here, the Japanese time's at 131 where he starts to blow up. So those are the time differences. Well, 131 minus 8 seconds, so actually he blows up at 125, assuming I time from the OK to now. So that's the run. Hope you enjoy the credits. I don't skip them because why would I? I don't understand. I know her role in this story. She's just a random character. So this fox girl is from like the ghost world, and she basically assists you from with helping. Maybe tomorrow defeats the final boss by burping, and that's the end of the game. So my goals, I'm going to try to commit to playing this game more on stream, more often. I know like a few people actually like watching these runs, and I like doing them. I like doing them when I feel like doing them. That's the problem. A lot of times I don't feel like doing it, but I have been able over the couple of days push myself to doing it and then enjoying it for doing it, you know? So it'd be great to actually be more consistent on playing this game, which I plan to be. Kinda wish they had voice acting for the end of this. Feel like they took it out and it's in the Japanese version. I'm pretty sure the opening scene has voice acting. And with that, I think I'm going to end the commentary and just let the credits roll. Hope you enjoyed the speedrun, and I look to having a new and improved one, hopefully where I don't get screwed at the end of it soon.
わての魅力に道中記のやつはイチコロでしたわ。おお、ご苦労じゃった。お主らの活躍は聞いておるぞ。
本当に手強い敵だったでござるよ。おじいさん、召喚マシンみたいな危ないものはもう二度と作らないでね。
いやー、すまんすまん。実はな、あのマシンは欠陥品だったのじゃ。申し訳ないことをしてしまったのう。で、今度はな。まさか。これが大量に改良を重ねて作り上げた召喚マシン2号じゃ。
また証拠りもなくそんなもん作りやがって。
また同じことを繰り返すつもりでござるか？
今度こそわての伝員様を召喚できるでな。
おや、なんじゃこの子は。どこの子じゃ？
あ、それうちの子ですわ。魔王って言いますね。
なんだって？
びっくりしたでござる。そっくりだわ。
おねえ、魔王ちゃん追い出したらいけまへんがな。
ああ、そのスイッチは召喚。